Books and magazines contain a wealth of information. Learning new things, finding information needed to help with projects, or simply a way to escape from the everyday world are some of the many reasons why people read books and magazines. Reading books is also a great way to spend time with your children for fun, or to share what you have learned with family and friends. Here are some questions you might ask while at a bookstore. What are some of the bestsellers? What are some new releases? Where can I find books by a particular author? Where is the children's section? Do you have books on animals? Do you offer a membership for customers? Does this magazine have monthly or yearly subscription? Can I get a subscription sent to my business? Can I reserve a book? You can also make many statements about books to your friends. I just finished reading a book on money management. It was very informative. I love reading. If I am not out, I am usually in my room reading a book. My favorite types of books are autobiographies. The new fiction bestseller was fun. You have to read it. Buying books as a present is not appreciated by the kid, but the parents usually love them. I really like getting books as a gift.
Habits and health are popular topics with almost everyone. From listening to the radio, watching TV, or talking with friends, the topic of habits and health seem to always come up. Habits can include such things as smoking, drinking and eating, and health topics can include dieting to exercising. Talking about these subjects with others depends on your comfort level or interest on the subjects. Oftentimes these subjects come up because of curiosity or even by someone looking for other options. While information on these subjects is readily available for people to research on their own, it is important when talking about them to be caring and show respect while not telling someone what they should be doing, but instead talk about your experience and thoughts while lending some support. Habits. The definition of a habit is an unconscious pattern of behavior that is acquired through frequent repetition. Although you hear a lot about bad habits, not all are. You could have a habit of shaking hands when greeting someone, or a habit of looking both ways before you cross the street, for example. But without a doubt the bad habits are the ones you will hear the most about and the ones people like to discuss. Below you will find some questions associated with bad habits. How can I stop smoking? How can I cut down on drinking? How can I reduce my eating? I should stop smoking. I think I drink too much. I have to watch what I eat. I have a bad habit of interrupting people when they speak. I have a habit of smoking when I drink. Why are most habits bad for you? I wish I had a habit of eating vegetables.
Setting up for a party can be time-consuming and sometimes expensive. Make sure you plan ahead and set up early if you can. How much you decorate depends on how much you want to spend. If you decide to reserve a party room, they typically will decorate and even cater the party, which will add to the cost. Here are some questions commonly used when setting up for a party. Should we reserve a room? Should we get there early to decorate? Should we buy decorations? Should we have the party catered? If you are asked any of these questions, here are ways that you could respond. If we reserve a room, we can have them decorate for us. Let's just have the party here at home to save money. Yes, if we get there early, we can decorate and be done with it. Not really, we can decorate anytime. Yes, we should go out and buy lots of decorations. We can just use stuff we have around here. We can just make a couple signs. Having it catered would be great. Then we do not have to cook. Catering is too expensive. Let's just cook the food ourselves.
After all of the hard work planning for the party, it's time to enjoy yourselves. Make sure the guest of honor is having a good time, and remember, this party is about them. Here are some questions commonly used when setting up for a party. When is he going to open presents? When are we going to have cake? How did you find the caterers? Should we yell surprise when he walks in? Are we going to play any games? If you were asked any of these questions, here are ways that you could respond. He will open presents after we eat. I think he will open presents after we eat some cake. We will have some cake later on. I am not sure. Did they get a cake? I found the caterers on the internet. My neighbor recommended the caterer. Yes, we should all hide. Then when he walks in we jump out and yell surprise. Don't yell too loud, you might scare Grandpa. I think we are going to do some karaoke. They have some games scheduled for later on.
Having lifelong friends is a great conversational topic. Many questions are related towards how long they have been friends. Here are some questions you can ask when talking about friends. How long have you guys been friends? How long have you known each other? Did you grow up together? Did you go to school together? So how did you meet? Here are some examples you can use to respond to these types of questions. We've been friends since elementary school. I think it's been like 20 years. We grew up together. Our parents lived pretty close, so we were basically neighbors. We went to the same school since the 5th grade. We met in middle school and started going to the same school from the 7th grade. We started going to the same school at the University of Washington. We met at church when we were young. We have been close friends since. We met in high school in our English class.
Neighbors are people who live in your neighborhood. You may live in a large neighborhood with lots of homes or a small cul-de-sac with just a few homes. Neighbors can even include people who live upstairs or downstairs from you in an apartment complex. Here are a few statements you can use when meeting a neighbor. Hello, my name is Jack. This is my wife, Susie. I live next door to you. I live downstairs from you. These statements are all good ways of letting someone know something simple about you. Here are some questions you can ask when speaking to a neighbor. What is your name? How long have you lived in the neighborhood? What do you do for work? Do you have any children? Where are you from? Hi, how are you doing? You may be asked the same questions from a neighbor. If this happens, just answer them the best you can. These questions are a good way to initiate statements you can use when meeting a neighbor. Hello, my name is Jack. This is my wife, Susie. I live next door to you. I live downstairs from you. These statements are all good ways of letting someone know something simple about you. Here are some questions you can ask when speaking to a neighbor. What is your name? How long have you lived in the neighborhood? What do you do for work? Do you have any children? Where are you from? Hi, how are you doing? You may be asked the same questions from a neighbor. If this happens, just answer them the best you can. These questions are a good way to initiate a conversation and a way to find out more about one another. Hanging out with neighbors. After meeting your neighbors, you may want to spend more time with them. You can invite them over for a barbecue, for a drink, or even just hang out outside in the neighborhood. Just do the best you can talking and asking questions. Enjoy the time together to learn more about one another and have fun. Questions will come to you as you get to know them better, and you will hopefully begin to feel more comfortable.
Getting a good night's sleep is an important part of your health and overall happiness. Sleeping well can ensure you are rested for the next day and able to perform properly at work and school. Lots of things can interfere with a good night's sleep, from babies crying in the middle of the night to having a lot on our minds. People in general require different amounts of sleep to function properly throughout the day, although the recommended amount of sleep is typically 8 hours. Here are some statements about sleep you might say. I wish I could sleep more, but I have too much to do. I usually sleep 6 hours a day. I have a hard time falling asleep, and also a hard time waking up. When I lay down to sleep, I am usually asleep in a matter of minutes. I wake up automatically at 6 a.m. every morning. I am having a hard time sleeping. I got a new bed yesterday. My husband snores a lot. I am not getting a lot of sleep with our new baby at home. My neighbor's dog keeps waking us up at night. The storm last night kept me from getting a good night's sleep. He plays football, and his friend reads a novel. They worked hard, but they failed to reach their destination. I need to work with you, but I can't due to my sickness. We should complete the task or fail to reach our destination. My friend is busy now, so I have to meet him later. He has lost his job, yet he didn't get his last salary. I found the right path and got my best life partner. She knew the true story, but didn't want to unveil it. Kareem will buy a bike, or he will buy a car. Irene loves to read novels, and she reads a novel every week. We have to finish our project on time, yet we have a lot of tasks at hand. They provide voluntary services, and they have many members. She has suffered from a disease, and she missed her loving family. He had a happy moment with his friends but missed his pet. I know you're missing me, but I have no ways to meet with you. He'll be playing with team members or choosing a different option. We're trying to invent a new technology, yet we need many types of equipment. Archer kept my word, and I was happy to see him. Please don't lose your last hope. We'll never reach your destination. She lives in the USA, and her family stays in the UK. I visited my grandparents last weekend, and we had a wonderful time together. He played basketball in high school, but he decided to focus on academics in college. They went to the beach yesterday, but it rained unexpectedly. We studied for the exam, yet we still struggled with some of the questions. She cooked a delicious meal for her friends, and they all enjoyed it. He worked as a teacher for several years, and then he pursued a career in writing. They traveled to Europe during the summer holidays, and they visited many famous landmarks. We watched a movie last night, but we didn't like it. She danced ballet when she was younger, but she stopped after a knee injury. He met his favorite author at a book signing event, and he got his book autographed. I am studying for my exam, and my friend is working on a project. She is dancing in the ballet recital, and her brother is playing the piano. They are traveling to Europe this summer, but they aren't taking their kids. We are having dinner at a restaurant tonight, so we are dressing up. He is working on a new painting, and he is experimenting with different techniques. She isn't planning to buy a house, yet she is always browsing real estate listings. My parents are attending a conference, and I am taking care of their dogs. We aren't enjoying the trip because we're worrying about safety all the time. She is taking swimming lessons, and she is improving her technique. He is studying English on his own, so he isn't taking any formal classes.